want to speak to you today on a man called Balam. A couple of weeks ago, I spoke to you on Jezebel. And what we noticed as we did the study is she seems to be one of the most hated of women in the scriptures. Why? Because she, in her folly, she brought other people down with her. And so we read of her in Revelation. Today I want to go back with you in Revelation chapter 2, and we're going to look at Balam. And I think that this man can be one of the most hated of men in the scriptures as well. And for the same reason, because he took others down with him. And we're going to go through some of the things that he did, some of the things he taught, and how he disobeyed God as he seek his own path, and as he go after lucrative gain. We'll go through some of the things that he did. But in Revelation chapter 2 and verse 12, it says that he's speaking to the Pergamos church. It says, and to the angel of the church of Pergamos, write these things, saith he which had a sharp sword with two edges. I know thy works, and where thou dwellest, even where Satan's seat is. And thou holdest fast my name, and hast not denied my faith. Even in those days where Antipas, my faithful martyr was slain among you where Satan dwelleth. But I have a few things against thee, because thou hast there them that hold the doctrine of Balaam, who taught Balak to cast a stumbling block before the children of Israel, to eat things sacrificed unto idols, and to commit fornication. If we pause there, we look back at this verse, these verses. God is acknowledging this church. He said, I know where you are, where Satan's seat is. But interesting, he's also acknowledging here that he saw Antipas being murdered. You know where Satan dwelleth and where the church was. And clearly this church, as we are today in this world, not of this world. The church is not of this world, not practicing the things that this world practices. But this church is in this world where Satan ruled in the kingdoms of this world. And so God is acknowledging that he knows where the church is. He understood and saw his faithful martyr Antipas. He's telling the church, I am here. I haven't gone. I may have gone away in person, but in spirit, I am here with you. And he is encouraging the church to remain faithful. They did not deny his name, and they hold, not all, but there were those there that was teaching the doctrine of Balaam. Well, Balaam was a long time before Revelation was given. But the spirit of Balaam, as we saw the spirit of Jezebel lived in the church in that new era, so the spirit of Balaam came from ancient time into a modern period. And so the Lord is warning the church that those there that hold on to the doctrine of Balaam, who taught Balak. Balak was king of the Moabites. And we're going to go there. Now, the interesting thing here, the verse is saying, taught, the stumbling block was to give the people things sacrificed unto idols. And I always hope that to get things sacrificed unto idols we have to be present to partake of these things, either in the idol's temple or in the vicinity. And as we go back and look, and you will have to read through some of these chapters, because I pick a few verses that I wanted to highlight. But if you read through these chapters, you'll get a better understanding. But not only that, but also to commit fornication. Now, God was not pleased with these, and it was a stumbling block. It was meant to keep God's people in a certain place, prohibits them from advancing. The children of Israel, they were advancing towards the promised land. Balak did not want them to get past him to that promised land. He did not want them in his land as they go through that place to the promised land. Similar to us, as strangers and pilgrims of this earth, we are journeying to a better land. And I know, and you know, that there is an agent out there that wants to prohibit us from getting into that place. And he will use whatever means possible. And so Balak inquired and hired Balaam to cast this stumbling block before the children of Israel, to curse the children of Israel as they journey from Israel to the promised land. And so, as we read Revelation, we see the spirit of Balaam alive in this new era. And God is warning that church, but He's also warning us today, because the spirit of Balaam is still alive. When you think about it, I mean, you just think, you listen to some of our government officials and these men that make laws to govern over our children and to tell our children at what age they can make certain decisions and be independent of their parent and so on. And at what age it's okay to live with a man or live with a woman. It's incredible that our government can say to our children, you can do this at that age, and that's just fine. And if we don't teach the Word of God in the proper way, our children will be listening always to teachers who implements the government's laws, whether it's police, the teachers, government officials. They implement these things. We have a right by the Spirit of God to teach, not always opposite to what this world teaches, because sometimes they teach good things, but for the most part, contrary to the Word of God. Balaam's idea was to get them into idol's temple and to get them to commit fornication, which is contrary to the Word of God. And listen, most of us, most of our young people are old enough to study these things over and they understand what is it, and to seek these things out. Because there is a way that seems right unto a man, but the end is the ways of death. And so when our government officials and our schools, our school teachers and principals say, at age 16, you're a man, you're a woman, you can do this, and your parents have absolutely no control over you when you make these decisions. The Word of God and at the church, we say, well, loving your parents, understanding the will of God is better. We're not telling you to disobey laws, but understand the will of God. Let's go into Balaam and Balak. Numbers 22 and verse 2. Numbers 22. And Balak the son of Zippor saw all that the children of Israel had done to the Amorites. 23, verse 3. 22 verse 3. And Moab was so afraid of the people because they were many, and Moab was distressed because of the children of Israel. And Moab said unto the elders of Midian, now shall this company lick up all that are round about us, as the ox licketh up the grass of the field. And Balam the son of Zippor was king of the Moabites at that time. Verse 5. And he sent messengers therefore unto Balam the son of Beor to Pethor, which is by the river of the land of the children of his people, to call him, saying, behold, there is a people come out from Egypt. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against me. Come now, therefore, I pray thee, curse me this people, for they are too mighty for me. Peradventure I shall prevail, that we may smite them, and that I may drive them out of the land. For I wot that he whom thou blessest is blessed, and whom thou cursest is cursed. And the elders of Moab and the elders of Midian depart with the rewards of divination in their hand. And they came unto Balaam and spake unto him the words of Balak. So they went to Balaam, and they went with great reward to give this man, if he would come. Now, Balaam was not an Israelite. He was a Midianite, as we can see in the reading. And so this man was known as a prophet. And so he built up quite a reputation of, whomsoever he blesses, blessed, and whomsoever he curses, curse. And so they seek him out and willing to give him whatever he wanted. And so the verse continues. It says, and he said unto them, lodge here this night, and I will bring you word again, as the Lord shall speak unto me. And the princes of Moab abode with Balaam. And God came unto Balaam and said, what men are these with thee? And Balaam said unto God, Balak the son of Zippor, king of Moab, had sent unto me, saying, and then he rehearsed the thing, behold, there is a people came out of Egypt, which covered the face of the earth. Come now, curse me them, peradventure I shall be able to overcome them and drive them out. Verse 12, and God said unto Balaam, thou shalt not go with them. Thou shalt not curse the people, for they are blessed. See, whom God bless, no man can curse. Right? And so God is saying to Balaam, do not go. Right? End of story. He went to seek God's counsel. God gave him good counsel. Do not go. But it didn't stop there. He went back and he said to these men, I cannot go. 3 times. I cannot go. Why? Because God tell me, do not go. God said to me, the people are blessed. They cannot be cursed. Right? Well, there's no need to go back and ask God the same question. And as I always say, I remember when the kids were younger, and they come and ask me, Dad, can I go this place or that place? I would say to them, do you want to go? Yeah. And I know they ask me because they want to go. And I know how it works. If they didn't want to go, they won't come. So I would find out what they want to do, and if the thing is good for me, not a problem, go ahead. My thing was, I knew where they were. So if you ask me to go at your friend at a certain time, not a problem, that's fine. Well, Balaam went to God, and Balaam asked God, what shall I do? What shall I say to these people? God said, do not go, because the people are blessed.